BodiTrak is a piece of equipment I purchased to help players understand what's going on. So basically in this instance we're using Matt from the shop. He's standing on a mat for me, and basically what it does is it pressure maps where he moves his weight, whether that be heels or toes, left or right, up or down, and we can generate a mapping system of how he moves to hit a golf ball. That mapping system also shows what you do as a movement in your body. So what Matt tends to do is he tends to early extend, i.e. loses his posture as he hits the golf ball, and because of that he then generally drops the golf club too far on the inside and hits big blocks to the right if he's right-handed, which he is, and then big hooks to the left when he flips his hands over it. And he wanted to understand why he did it, so we used BodiTrak just to explain what goes on. In principle, all the blue lines here are just showing where he's moved up to this point on the mat. And then as he comes to start his golf swing, you can see how he pushes his weight forward, so suddenly the red dot moves towards the left foot. And when he started, he had, on his left foot, he had 54% of his weight in his toes and 46% in his heels, and in his right foot, he had 95% of his weight in his toes. So that's how he started the golf swing. You would like to see that weight is started on the left foot and mainly towards the toe end, so what he's doing here is really good. He then goes and pushes it into the right side as he starts the golf swing, and that's what should happen as he starts the golf swing. It should move into the right side. In this instance he's probably overdone it a little bit, but what's really interesting in what he did is he definitely pushed a huge amount of weight into his right toe. So all his weight went into his right toe. And you can see here how also at the end of the day he's also put 90% of his weight, body weight, into the right foot, and 100% of that weight of that 90% is into the toe. So he's very much on his toes, and he doesn't really come out of it. So he goes to drive forward, he stays in his toe. You can see here again how he pushes forward, and he actually only gets into the left toe this time here in the front foot, where he's got 92% of his weight as such. The thing that's interesting about this, and what it does also help me measure and stuff like that, is actually also measures the amount of force you generate. Vertical force is basically generating more distance. So if you look at Bryson DeChambeau and a lot of work that he's done, this is a very cheap version of what he uses, but you can actually generate a huge amount of force by moving better. So what Matt generates is, the most he generated in this golf swing was 160 newtons as such. With Matt, what we wanted to do is to allow him to get a lot more rotation into his backswing and try and allow that rotation to get weight into the heel. If we could get rotation in the backswing, we can get more rotation in the follow through, so then all of a sudden we can start to use the heels a lot more, and the heels can be a lot more powerful in relation to turning. And actually the outcome of what we wanted to create was the idea that the club head didn't get so stuck behind him. We get the club more out in front of him to allow him to feel as though he can hit through the ball on a better line and stop the blocks and the hooks. So the first thing we talked about was how do we get more rotation. So one of the things we wanted to do with him is a very simple drill of trying to get more rotation, is just to open the toes more. So you can see here he stands a little bit more like a pigeon toed, almost toes out. And we also widened his stance by 10 inches, almost 9 inches I think is what we ended up opening it. And so to me, suddenly with that stance difference, we could then change how he moved in the backswing. So as you start to see, the red line is going to go forward as it did before, so it just lifts into the front foot as he starts the golf swing. But then it's going to start to move into the back foot. But when we get to the top of the backswing, or as we start to get to the top of the backswing, you can start to see this time, okay, he's still got 90% of his weight in his back foot, as you can see by this number here. But what he's also now done is he's gone and got 24% of his weight, of that weight, in the heel, whereas before he had 100% in the toe. So to me, suddenly he started to change a little bit more about his pattern and what he was doing. Then all of a sudden he can start to drive forward, because what he does do is very well is drive forward. And before he actually had no weight into his heel at all in the follow through or through impacts, whereas now you can start to see, okay, it's driving at 100% into the toe, which is what should happen, but then it's starting to get into the heel in the follow through, and we had none of this before. we couldn't get him rotating into the heel in the follow through, whereas now we've got him in the left foot with rotation at looking at 32% in the heel, whereas before that was at 0%. So suddenly, just by changing his stance, we could actually change what the body was doing, and as we're changing what the body does, you're then going to change what the golf club does. And that's what we're trying to use the system for. In relation to what we spoke about earlier, and I said to you that Matt generated like 160 newtons as such, because of the stance change and what he generated, he suddenly, all of a sudden, we could start to generate like 200 newtons, 40 newtons more. So that's actually, over time, that's going to generate more speed in the club head. If you can keep the strike really good, we're going to create more speed in the golf ball, so the ball's going to go further. So we're not only helping him hit the ball straighter, but we're also helping him hit it further at the same time. We've given Matt some tasks to do over the next few months, and we'll keep you posted on how he gets on. If anybody would like to understand a bit more about this, then please get in contact with the coaching team or myself, and we'll help you come up with a plan to help you use it. We use it a lot with putting, chipping, probably mainly with chipping to help people keep their weight in the right place. But also if you're looking at trying to generate more distance, this is a great way of doing it. Look forward to seeing you soon.